do birthday parties, they want to do wedding ceremonies and all that, but then they don't have the actual budget. But then this is the interesting part. With Pinnacle, you get to invest 50% of your total budget. Now, it has to be before 7 months before, that occasion. And then we are going to fund the entire ceremony for you. Yeah.
Say that again?
Now, if you have a wedding, right? And let me say you're booking, say you want to plan for 1 million naira, and then you have 500,000 naira. That's 50% of 1 million. If you invest that 500,000 naira, which is 50% with Pinnacle, we are going to pay the entire ceremony when that day comes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, I want to know where is your company situated?
We are actually located at number 55 Iwafe Road, along Iwafe Road, directly opposite First Bank by Wimpy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how long has Pinnacle Derivatives been in existence?
Pinnacle has been in existence for basically 9 months. Yeah, like I earlier told you, we were established in the year 2020, January to be precise. Yeah, so we've been in existence for 9 months.
You exist for 9 months and you have only been in River State, or you have
No,
offices?
we've only been in River State.
Okay.
We're still spreading.
Okay. All right. Does the company offer other packages other than the ones that you've just listed? I mean, you've gone through the soft ones, we've gone through the hard ones.
Yeah.
All right. So how do I proceed to invest in Pinnacle Derivatives investment?
For those who are interested in, investing in Pinnacle, you can actually meet us, via phone number, via our website. Now, our website is www.pdtandinvestment.com. For those who want to, do more inquiries online, you can go to www.pdtandinvestment.com. And
Please
then
repeat that again.
www.pdtandinvestment.com.
You have to mention that the
PDT
PDT
and investment.com. Yeah. And if you want to reach us via our phone numbers, we have 080-663-26071. I repeat, 080-663-26071 or 081-220-17816. I repeat, 081-220-17816. Or you can reach me via my hotline at 081 00940249. I repeat, 081 00940249. Or you can meet us on Facebook, facebook.com/PDT and investment, or on our Instagram handle, PDT and investment. Yeah.
Okay. So you said for 9 months you've been here.
Yeah.
How has it been with the clients that you've been
It's been amazing. We've had a lot of every month happy and amazing. Now, here's the thing. Albert Einstein said the greatest mathematical discovery of all time is that of compound interest. Now, why leave your money in the bank when you can actually invest with Pinnacle, and then we pay you every good month, and then you're going home smiling, and being happy.
All right. So let's run through some of the packages you have again, because I know there's so many people who are listening now who are interested.
Yeah.
And they already understand where you exist, where your corporate office is situated, and also how to contact you. But let's quickly refresh the memories on the packages you have available.
All right. Now I'm going to go back through our 6 months plan. For our 6 months plan, the minimum investment for our 6 months plan is 100,000 naira. And then we pay you 16% every month. Now, for the beginner's plan, from between 100,000 to 5 million, we pay you 16%. That's return on investment every 30 days. For 5 million to 49 million, that's approximately 50 million, we pay you 12% every 30 days. Now, from 50 million to 99 million, which is approximately 100 million, we pay you 7% every month. And then for the very last, which is 100 million and above, we pay you 2.5%. And then for our one year plan or 1 year package, now the minimum investment is 300,000 naira, which means if you invest a minimum of 300,000 naira, the company pays you a whopping 18% every month. Return on investment.
All right. And the soft packages?
And the soft package I would like to go through. Owning a car in 120 days. It runs this way. Invest 60% of your car costs with us, and then we're going to get you a brand new car of your choice after 4 months, which is 120 days. And then for the rents, you invest your total rent 9 months before your due date, and we're going to pay your rent for 3 good years. And then for the event planning, if you 50% of your total ceremony. Now for the school fees, you invest your total school fees, right? 6 to 7 months before the due date, and then the company pays them for 3 years for you. Very, very interesting.
So if my school fees was 100,000 naira,
100,000.
I'll invest it 6 months before when it's due. And then for the next 3 years, I don't need to bother about it.
You don't need to bother about your school fees. The company takes good care of that.
I like that. All right, good. But you also said there is a need to enter into an MOU because in case the need for any legal proceedings, this is the document that will help.
Exactly.
All right. Let's also get how to reach Pinnacle Derivatives.
All right. You can reach us at our address, number 55 Iwofe Road, opposite First Bank before City Crown, by Wimpy Junction, Port Harcourt, Nigeria. You can reach us via our telephone numbers 080-663-26071. I repeat, 081-663-26071 or 081-2201-7816. I repeat, 081-2201-7816. Or you can reach me via my hotline at 081 0094 0249 or 081 0094 0249. Or you can reach us via our website at www.pdtandinvestment.com.
All right.
www.pdtandinvestment.com.
You said something on your website. You can see the reviews of all the
you can see all the reviews. Exactly.
And do we also get to understand properly how you deal with Forex?
Exactly.
On your website?
A whole lot of content on our website. Also on our Facebook page and our Instagram pages. We have a lot of content there for the general public to go check out.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we let you go?
I would just want to say, with Pinnacles, there's actually no worries. We are here to stay. We are here to build a household name. We are here to last. So I want to guarantee the general public out there, no fear, no regret. Come to Pinnacle, make your investments, and then smile every month.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. And we're hoping to see you again shortly.
You can never plan the future by the past. He who has a why to live can bear almost any out. Lost time is never found again. It is the province of knowledge to speak, and it is the privilege of wisdom to listen. I don't take life too seriously. You'll never get out of it alive. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. In the end. It is not the years in your life that counts. It is the life in your years. Make it count with us. Make it count with us at Today 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM.
Opinion poll on today's quest.
More than 3 over 4 of the loots we're talking about in this country today were loots within the 16 years.
Here is a great opportunity to sample all our opinions on the issues raised.
In Port Harcourt says the PDP is trying to divert our attention because Nigerian funds was looted by the PDP. Melody in Uniport says Madam Jonah is yet to come in terms of the fact that her tenure has expired. Annie, please tell him that investigation is not what you make public until the final stage.
Send your opinion to us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Today95.1 FM, or on Twitter @TodayFM951. You can also sample your opinions with us on WhatsApp or on our SMS portal using the numbers 070-1933-9962.
I'm back, and good morning to you yet again. 25 minutes gone past the hour of 9, and it's time for opinion poll, and a very interesting topic before us. And as we try to join the conversation for nation building, It is today's quest and Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people, your premium talk radio station, and I am Kalada. You know how for so long a time, the conversation, whenever it comes to elections, have centered on zoning. One of the reasons why we saw a disintegration, as we approached the 2015 elections, disintegration of the PDP, so to say, at the time, where we saw a lot of prominent hands leave the PDP to the opposite direction, was because of this same, issue of, oh, where should it go? Where should it not go? It's time for this zone. It's not time for that zone. And we saw a lot of these people with personal interests go the way of the APC. And for the first time, we saw a new party, so to say, an opposition party take over the helms of affairs from the ruling party. And it was a shocker for so many. It was good news for others. But what we want to look at this morning is the fact that the party that took over the helm of affairs in 2015, made similar agreements to that of the PDP. And like one person from that party is saying, when you look at the dailies this morning, is that they had a gentleman agreement. And that is what will form the basis of our conversation right now on Opinion Poll, as I start by introducing my co-analyst on the show this morning. Remember, I am Kalada, and I have Mr. Emmanuel Ndukwe. Mr. Emmanuel, good morning to you.
Good morning, Canada. Good morning, Nigeria.
All right, you already met or you already heard the voice of Dr. C.A.G. Chinwo, a legal practitioner and legal analyst.
Thank you.
This is my favorite part. He's living in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, where it's all happening.
Nigeria.
Thank you, Canada.
I have Dr. Emmanuel Wona, is a lecturer at the Department of Political Science, University of Port Harcourt. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
And of course, I have another lecturer, but this time from the Department of Philosophy, still, from the University of Port Harcourt. I'm talking about Dr. Desmond in Bete. Did I call your name very?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome then. Let's go straight into the nitty-gritty now. If you look at the Punch newspaper, you would see the caption, "Rotation in APC, a gentleman's agreement, Fashola party leaders." Let's look at it. I think I like the caption on the Sun newspaper better. The Sun puts it this way: 2023 presidency, PDP too weak, opposition to wrestle power from APC. And that's coming from Fashola. Now, it's the same story, but two different headlines. And he had to drag PDP into that one, by the way. The story from the Punch, or the report from the Punch, is as thus. The All Progressives Congress has said it is currently not concerned about the zoning of the presidency in 2023. The Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Yekini Nabena, who stated this in an interview with The Punch on Tuesday, was, however, evasive when asked if the party agreed on zoning before the 2015 elections. Nabena spoke amid disclosure by some chieftains of the APC that before 2015 elections, its leaders had an unwritten agreement on zoning of the presidency. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, in an interview with journalists at the ministry headquarters in Abuja on Tuesday, indicated that there was a gentleman agreement on zoning. Other chieftains of the APC, including the immediate past National Vice Chairman South Iliadita, and the Director General of the Voice of Nigeria, Osita Okechukwu, supported the minister. Recall that the Director General of the Progressive Governor Forum, Dr. Salihu Lukman, had on Monday insisted that the party's presidential ticket would be open to all members to compete for in 2023. I'd like to take a paragraph or two from the article on the Sun newspaper. Former governor of Lagos State, Babatunde Raji Fashola, has described the People's Democratic Party (PDP) as a weak opposition to wrestle power from the All Progressives Congress (APC) during the 2023 presidential election. The Minister of Works and Housing, who berated the opposition party during an interactive session with APC correspondents in his Abuja office, however, warned that the only guarantee for the ruling party to retain power beyond President Muhammadu Buhari era would be to fulfill the party's electoral campaign promises. He tactically evaded the speculation surrounding his hiring president or vice president, stressing that he is concerned about delivering the mandate of the party to the people. He went ahead to talk about how they should respect the gentleman's agreement. Now, this is all coming at a time when Dave Umahi has moved to the APC under the pretense, according to the governor of Rivers State, that it's not true, it's a pretense, so I'm going to borrow that word from him, under the pretense that the Southeast will be got at the presidency come 2023. Now, we've seen different reactions, mixed reactions to the whole issue, and something similar to what we saw in 2014, with the PDP, where we saw people, decamp as a result of this zoning issue. A lot of people did not want Goodluck Jonathan to run for a second term. They were arguing that it was time for the North, to have a second term or another shorter date and all of that argument. Let me start with you now, Mr. Emmanuel Ndukwe. What is your reaction to the happenings right now in the APC? It might not be huge at the moment, but this is how it starts. Little whispers and murmurings, and before you know, it's a loud shout.
Well, I think reaction of every individual or any individual would have indeed been informed by the explicitity of that statement, but it's not explicit.
All right.
Because Fashola said zoning in APC, a gentleman agreement. Now, he didn't go the whole walk in stating exactly how the APC has zoned this 2023 presidency.
Okay.
So on what ground, what is the pedestal upon which somebody could stand to talk about whatever zoning that exists in APC? But the only thing is that he is giving a hint that there is zoning agreement reached within the platform of APC.
Talking about pedestal, I think it is based on the Southeast argument that APC will give them the platform to run for presidency 2023. And, then what's his name? Salihu comes out to say, no, we're going to make it an open ticket. It's going to be an open market. Anybody can come buy and sell.
You see, Kalada, I still maintain what I said.
Okay.
It's not all that clear because, see, when the Southeast, for instance, had come out to make a demand that it be given to them, perhaps following Fashola's hint, maybe they had a meeting and agreed, maybe gentleman, as he called it, that there's going to be zoning perhaps to the Southeast. That, of course, is left for them to have been corroborated or otherwise say no. But when you say leave it open, while Fashola is telling you that
leave it closed.
Leave it closed, and again, that there was an agreement.
Yeah.
Then it means you are still embroiled in that controversy that is trailing APC all around.
It's PDP, you mean?
No, APC.
Okay.
APC.
Okay.
You see, this APC now that Fashola belongs, yes.
Yes,
it's
APC, yes.
So what I'm saying is that if Fashola is saying that, yes, there's zoning agreement, which part of an ear to the ground is that there was zoning then.
All right.
And now the claim of the Southeast can never be corroborated by anybody because you've not heard from the APC hierarchy that it was zoned to them after this particular Buhari era. Let's say 2023 belongs to them. Nobody knows because Fashola didn't mention it. Neither did any other stalwart mention that. But some other people that are saying leave it open, then it becomes a problem because all along, I want to believe that they've been having a zoning formula.
All right.
So for me,
they've just ruled for one. They just had one person rule, so we cannot say all along.
No,
it's
along not, is how many?
It's just worry. It's just worry.
No, it's one tenure, and this is the second tenure. So Jonathan ruled how many tenure?
1.5.
Simple.
Yeah.
So another person could have taken it from Buhari on this second one.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by the 2 terms of governance. He has been there, and that agreement, perhaps they followed it to the letter.
All right, let's hear from you now, Dr. Chinwo. Now, looking at it from the legal perspective, it is an unwritten agreement, and it holds no water in court. But really, looking at it from a political angle, it might spell doom, because there are some people who are hoping that come 2023 they'll be able to test how strong their muscles are. What is your expert opinion on this very issue? I'd like to hear from you.
Well, I think if you hit the point clearly, it is not an enforceable agreement, even if it had been written. Quite often, no politician has shown us where it was written. Jonathan asked Governor Maus of Niger State, where did we sign it? When he said I shouldn't go for second term. Fashola himself, a lawyer, a senior advocate of Nigeria, said it's a gentleman's agreement. A gentleman's agreement can be written down, but apparently in Nigeria we don't write.
Right.
It seems more convenient to forget. But the constitution there is enough. The constitution has stated clearly, at least by the federal character principle, it's enough guide for every Nigerian organization and individual to know that once you have an opportunity, you should let another person have it. That's the sort of federal character principle.
All right.
Live and let live. Enjoy and let others enjoy. So it now requires for political parties to be able to sit down and fashion out how that will work.
All right.
To me, a north-south alternative, and then when it goes to any particular section, north or south, they also move, alternate between the zones there, would have solved it and should solve it. And so, if anybody, if we also go to that time, where say we zoned it to the southeast, let all the parties get their candidates from there.
All right.
And I am very confident that every section of this country can produce capable persons
of course,
to run this country. So that is it. But you see, if we take that, I would look at the other issues that Fashola addressed. I laugh when he say PDP is not strong enough to take over from APC and all that. What he has failed to understand, but which he also saw acknowledged, is that look, it is not the strength of the incoming party, but the weakness of the outgoing existing party in government that brings in new party.
The new party, yeah?
Yes. It was not because APC was strong. It was the most disorganized set of people when they were coming in. But PDP had scattered. I mean, if you watch, the NTA had to shut out some coverage of a campaign of Jonathan in the north. They just say show him only, they don't show the crowd, got nobody. So it's the same thing APC is going to face. It's already facing. Fayemi has said, the chairman of APC Governors Forum, said, after Buhari, they are not sure there will be APC. And several others have said it. So by 2023, there may be no APC to contest with a PDP that is maybe 50% strong.
Now, when you say there might not be APC in 2023, are you looking at it from the angle of, them not honoring their gentleman's agreement and, it's spilling over to become chaos, so to say?
Yeah, because they are not ready to honor the gentleman's agreement, which unfortunately we don't know what it is. Nigerians don't know to say, look, we draw your attention to this agreement. But apparently you're going to see people say, no, we agreed. Jonathan say, no, we didn't agree. Jonathan said that what happened to PDP. Miles said we agreed. Jonathan said we didn't agree.
All right.
And you want to really see they collapse. That's the same thing that happened to APC. PDP will win if that's the only strong party, and they are. If they will win not because PDP is strong,
all right,
but because they manage themselves. They have a core group that can talk across the Niger and across the states and look strong. But APC is going down the other opposite direction. So politicians should realize that if you want to retain power, be strong not because they're going to use government resources to abuse your advantage, but because be strong in the sense that there's cohesion,
all right,
there's direction,
all right.
There are some persons who people can look at and say because of this person. But APC, quite often, even till today, they themselves have said it. Without Buhari, there's just no APC.
All right then. All right, let's go to Dr. Emmanuel Wona now. Let's continue from where Dr. Chin was stopped. Looking at history, you know what they say about history, it helps us, project the future better. Now, PDP had a similar situation, and it saw the almost annihilation of the party. I mean, the campaign at the time was massive. Now we're seeing APC showed the same attributes the PDP showed in 2014 going to 2015. Can we now say that there is the possibility, looking at it from a political angle, by the way, can we now say there's a possibility that a new political party might just pop up? Because if the PDP, as Umayi and many other people have stated, are also having internal issues, then it might not be strong enough to take over from the APC that is also now beginning, to show weaknesses. Are we going to see the popping up of another political party, another mega political party, so to say, in 2023?
Well, I want to believe that this saying that goes like this, that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely may apply in this context, because it appears it has become a norm that if a political power assumes the leadership of this country, within a short while, give them 4 or 5 years, they will also begin to crash, just like we saw in PDP, and we also see in APC. But I think the fact is that it's unfortunate that what is happening, particularly with the recrudescence of the zoning thing which we started from, is the fact that the faulty federal system we are practicing is also brought to bear on the political arrangements, the political dynamics, the activities of political leaders in this country. Because I was thinking that by now, this issue of zoning, given the peculiarities of federal system, would have been resolved. Because ordinarily, in a democratic setting, in a federal system of government, the different federating units are supposed to be given a sense of belonging. Chinua talked about federalism, the federal character principle. But I want to do that there because it has also its own inherent contradiction anyway. But from the bare view of federalist system of government, you expect that the different federating units should be given a sense of belonging. And that again also informs the fact that the democratic process here is also marred with some irregularities, which also reflect the structural rigidities, the structural asymmetry in the political system of this country. Because you realize that right from 1953 census figure, a particular section of this country has been made to believe to be the highest population, particularly the north.
Right.
And so it affects the political calculation.
Right.
So if that is the case, and in line, in tandem with federal principle, you expect that we should have an arrangement, call it whichever name, call it a gentleman agreement, make it a constitutional matter, that the other federating units should be given a sense of belonging. Now back to the question you asked. I don't see any mega party coming up within this period of time. Don't see the possibility.
That's what we argued in 2014.
Yeah, I don't see the possibility of a new party. I'm talking about a new party coming up. Because if you talk about mega party, maybe in terms of PDP will align with which party now? Maybe Abuga. I don't see. My understanding of mega party is entirely a new party that has different perspective, different ideology, different orientation.
Now, in 2014, APC was a new party. It was the merger of CPC and what's the other one now? ACN. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So ANPP as well.
Half of Afghan.
So when you see now that made it a mega party at the time. So are we seeing such measures coming into play, for 2023?
That's what I said. I don't see the possibility of that measure coming into play because you also know that, of course, you can see that there are a lot of defections now coming in. Some people are moving from PDP to APC and APC to PDP, where I was thinking that there should have been a different neutral ground. But because of this defection, I don't see the possibility of a mega party emerging before 2023. Because the understanding is that if you have a party in power, in place, there is the possibility that people will want to move to that direction.
Okay.
Depending on what their interest is,
Okay.
depending on what they want to have.
Okay.
So for me, I don't think there is a possibility, given the spate of defection. We are told that some people, some governors also from PDP may also defect to APC, you know. And if that is the case, I wonder how they will also go about accommodating other people from other political parties to form a major party. For my understanding, I think that APC has that belief. I want to believe that they have the belief that they are going to also win the election in 2023. So I don't think they are ready to have any mega arrangement with any political party.
All right. Thank you. Now let's get to Dr. Desmond. Now, Umahi left PDP, saying there is the possibility of the southeast region getting to Aso Rock, or is it the Aso Villa?
No, that the PDP denied them.
But that's with the possibility. I used the word the possibility of
Yeah.
getting to the presidential villa in 2023 through the vehicle APC. But looking at the argument that has ensued in the past 2 days, Monday, Saliu came out and said it's open for all. Nabena says no to a zoning structure. How do you think this will play out now? Do you think it's a lost cause for the Southeasterners who had moved to the APC with the hope of 2023?
Well, thank you. Frankly, if I did know that this was going to be the topic for today, I probably would not have come. Reason being that I've been so disenchanted with the idea of politics in Nigeria, so much so that it almost looks like a waste of time talking about it all the time. However, because it has come up and because I'm here, I'm not interested in which party gets it, which party doesn't get it. But taking the issue of Governor Mai moving to the APC with the hope of a possibility of the Southeast grabbing power come 2023, I think that every unit, every region in this country is entitled to that desire. Politics is actually all about self-interest. The difference between politics in enlightened societies and those societies that are not so enlightened is that in the case of enlightened societies, politics is actually enlightened self-interest. So when your self-interest is not enlightened, you play politics in some barbaric, some crude kind of way. Having built that background, I think that since politics is about self-interest, and Mai has his own self-interest, sometimes you will realize your self-interest through the interest of your group, the group you belong to. So I would have thought that nobody should blame him for defecting to APC. It's his right, and if you're in the final analysis, it's also left to him. What I think that politicians do, which is not out of place, is that they try to do their calculations. Sometimes they may not be eyeing a particular position, but they use it as a bargaining tool. If he comes up to say at the right time that he's interested in X, Y, Z position, and even if he knows that he may not get it, I'm making a general claim now, even if I'm using he, even if he knows that he may not get it, but they have come to see that he represents a strong group. That will make him have a stronger bargaining power. So linking that with the statement by Fashola about whether PDP is a weak opposition or not, I think there is a self-contradiction in what he said. The contradiction is this. If you say that PDP is too weak an opposition to wrestle power with APC and emerge, and then at the same time, you now say that the only guarantee for APC to cling on to power is for it to zone power to the position of presidency to the northeast. to respect the gentleman's agreement. That means that you are saying that there is so strong an opposition that if you don't respect the agreement, then they are going to grab it.
Yes.
So there's a contradiction there. Now, to balance it all, I would want to toe the path of people respecting agreements. If there had been an agreement that they were going to zone the position of presidency, let it be respected. One thing is, you might come to the public, it affects my trust in him. It affects how I feel that he feels about me. I feel that he takes me for granted and is going to destroy the relationship that existed among them. So I would have felt that it is proper, whether anybody else knows about it, whether it was only God that knew about it, if there had been an agreement, they should respect each other and go by that agreement.
All right.
Some people may say that rotation or zoning is undemocratic or it allows for mediocrity. I don't think so. Society progresses. Society grows. There comes a time where certain principles may be considered to be anachronistic. Nobody can tell me that at the stage where we are in Nigeria now, that zoning is irrelevant. There's something called positive neutrality. There's something called affirmative action. The fact that you zone a position to one area at any point in time does not mean that that principle cannot be discarded when we have come to the point where we feel that where you come from is not going to matter. And I think that if we get to the point where it doesn't matter where the other person comes from, I treat people fairly, irrespective of where they come from, the clamor for zoning will begin to diminish with time.
All right.
But not at this point in time. I still think that it is relevant in our politics.
I want to ask a
politics.
question. Now, Dr. Chinwo mentioned federal character, and I think he was seconded by Dr. Wona. And now Dr. Desmond is talking about a time when there will be, the feeling of one Nigeria. But we get the narrative that it is one Nigeria. You can go to any part of the country and feel among, supposedly. So if we are one Nigeria, why do we need to zone? Why don't we, allow it to be open? Because I also look at it as a competition. You come up with your candidate, everybody vouches for or is pursuing the same position, everybody's going for the same position, and then the best candidate wins, or the person with the most popularity wins the election. So why do we really have to zone? That is the next question. Some people say, okay, every part has to be represented, but if we have one Nigeria, whoever wins, that position as president, is it not representing everybody? I'm looking at it from that angle as well.
You see, zoning is very important. Yes, no matter what anybody may say, the fact remains that what those who say that there is no part that doesn't have maybe credible individuals, it holds very true in all circumstances.
All right.
Let me tell you, when you are talking about if we are one Nigeria, we know we are one Nigeria in principle, but not in practice, because each side sees itself as the only side, especially as Dr. Betty was talking about. I think it's Dr. Warner, about the census and all that has unduly given power to a section of the country. And that section, you cannot tell me, even you here, that it is the only side that you can have credible individuals.
But he gave population. Did he give power to that to that region? Because when you win elections in numbers, you also have to win it in spread in terms of the geopolitical zones as well.
Have you ever heard about people coming out to count certain things that are not humans? These are allegations. But see, in that wise, if such exists or it happened, that means that that number, if accepted, could now empower you always. Always.
Right.
And we are saying for the peace to reign and then for equity and fairness, each geopolitical zones should have a test at that maybe highest office. And what I want to answer the question you asked at that time, whether there could be a mega party coming up. It's very possible for politicians to come up with a mega party. The issue is that the mega party you are coming up with, is it going to be different in the end? Because all the mega parties, the PDP came out from some other ones that existed before its emergence in 1998 or 99. Now, the APC, most of them pulled out also from the PDP. Now, that is why you simply do not have clear differences in the ideologies, if they have any. Because the way the PDP behaves is the way the APC behaves. In fact, is the way any other one that comes at the center will behave. As far as the now, what Dr. Mbete was talking about is the rudimentary stage of our development. Because if you now say it is because of we are one Nigeria, we are expected to be one and united, but in practice we are not saying that. It means for equity's sake, let each side have like rotation. All these things do not mean that we are divided. We are divided already by ethnicity. There's no doubt about that.
All right.
And that is why you can see, even when Chiwa mentioned the federal character, is it happening in practice? Don't you see nepotism? While the federal character exists, it's sidelined as it were. But it's in existence. So for me, I think if it is mega party, they will come, because I tell you, when you are looking at APC, except otherwise they put their house in order. As Buhari is going, maybe he will go with APC in his agbada. I'm telling you the truth.
Okay. Now, Dr. Chinwo, zoning has not really worked for us when we look at the democracy since 1999. I mean, we zoned it to, the Yorubas at the time. Obasanjo took, after Obasanjo, he was zoned to the north. Yaradua took over for a while, fell ill, and then died, and then Good Luck came. And when Good Luck came, there was the uproar. Oh, no, you shouldn't. Good Luck cannot. It's supposed to be north, continuing their zoning has not really worked, because looking at the developmental stride since 1999, we can't say we have achieved 40% growth we're still not industrialized, we're still not producing. We can't even refine our crude oil in abundance that we have in abundance. So looking at zoning, and it hasn't worked. Yet again, the question pops up: is it really? I understand the difference. I understand we have different ethnicities, different language, different religions. But don't we think that it is a competition? And each region, bring your candidates and let the best man win, there during the elections?
No, it's all over the world. Like Dr. Mbeza mentioned, there have been provisions in every nation to enable those who are otherwise naturally disadvantaged to be able to compete. Even in sports, there are some games that somebody has a handicap. They put him in a distance to compete. The other people are coming from behind. All that is an acknowledgement of the fact that people should have an equal opportunity. So when you have in a nation like Nigeria, multi-ethnic, diverse, multi-religious nation, the most important statecraft is to make everyone have a sense of belonging. That's why we now devised federal character. That's why we're talking about zoning. So it is something that must be encouraged.
All right.
Yes. Now, the point is, when you do it, the encouragement is towards getting to that ideal state. I believe we might get there, but only if we start practicing these affirmative ideas. So zoning is important. Zoning should be allowed to continue. The reason why it does not seem to work is because, quite unfortunately, we are not a people, from what I've seen, who have that sense of justice, sense of thinking for the good of the other person. Every part of this country, every part of the nation, you have that tendency of nepotism. See, 1966, when we took over, overthrew the government, that was the one of the things they read out. Nepotism. And every government that has come has either said it or accused the previous government of it. Today's Buhari's government is centered on nepotism. Right. When you go to Katsina State today, there are some people, some parts of Katsina will say, the only Katsina you hear is Daura. And that is it. The only casino here in the nation, when Jonathan was in government, the only Niger Delta was Bayelsa.
Was it Bayelsa?
No, I'm telling you.
Because Bayelsans were complaining.
That's what I'm saying. And the Bayelsans, I'm going to that. The Bayelsans were saying it's only our people that we are found in Aso Rock. And that's the unfortunate thing. You come to the state now, River State. I am here in River State. It is now, everybody thinking it's Ikwere. But the Ikwere people also are going to be saying, look, it is Roman Perico. Now, this is all disastrous things we do in leadership. That if we are people who have sense of justice, you now realize that, look, give everybody opportunity to contribute to the growth of the society. And when people say that, they have that sense of feeling that, oh, this thing will go around, and I will put in my best to make it. When it comes to me, I start off the race in a good position. But when you don't, everybody wants to have his own opportunity. And when they have the opportunity, is to do that as even worse than you did.
All right. To become nepotic.
Nepotic and worse than the former government. But what Buhari has done today now is worse than any other government has done in terms of nepotism. Worse than any other government in the history of Nigeria. But I'm not sure the next government will not do worse than him.
So we are saying that until we're able to tackle nepotism, it is only fair that we zone. Because even in River State,
yes,
a lot of people will argue that the construction work is centered on certain areas.
Yes, tomorrow. I have an article I'm posting today and I'm publishing Deacon on Friday. I'm telling the governor, no, we can't do doing things like that. I know, and I started. I said, look, I'm a Port Harcourt boy. Local government, here. I could have started doing everything here, but that is not how we should run a state.
All right.
So it is the same thing we're talking about. Because if you don't do that, you will rather accentuate this shout of give us our own turn, and when it comes to our own turn, all I will do is
for our people.
Tomorrow now, the danger. I told him I want to be able to talk to any other government in this state. For instance, if the governor weekend goes on the way he's going, and the Calabari governor emerges tomorrow and say, I'm going to do every development in Calabari land.
Be specific. Calabari is a big land.
Calabari has those local
so he's going to do only in Buguma.
Okay, maybe only in Buguma. And then the man from Bakana is complaining. The man from Tombia is complaining. So these are the problems. But we must begin to have a sense of justice for the development of our nation. Now, so that's why zoning is important. But whatever it is, even if you are being nepotistic, okay, no problem. Assuming the governor of River State today, assuming he develops the whole of Ikwere land, and there was one Mr. Harry in 1999 who suggested that, if he does that, and the governor comes from Calabar and develops the whole of Calabar land, and the governor comes from Ogoni House, develops the whole of Ogoni Houses, maybe it goes round. Perhaps in 16 years, or I would say in 14 years, perhaps River State will begin to look like close to what we think it should be.
All right.
And at that time, people will begin to realize that their tie to progress is not based on their ethnic foundation. When I realize I can go to Calabari and buy a plot of land and develop and live and my family is happy, then over time I begin to realize it doesn't matter whether I'm Ikwere or Ogoni or not. But if you don't, and that's unfortunate, they are not doing it.
All right.
It will evolve. So there must be zoning. We go on until we begin to get to the point. A time will come. Yeah? A time will come when you realize that where you come from doesn't matter much.
All right.
Those of us in Obiabo area now will begin to realize that because everybody, some people from outside this state have more land than I do.
Okay.
In Obiabo.
All right.
You understand? So that's how you evolve. A time there are some Nigerians who have more land in Britain than the British person.
Are you talking about the politicians?
Whether they're politicians or they kind of want wars and all that, so it doesn't have the politicians. Maybe whether they end it or they stole it, but they have more resources there. So we begin to develop. But for now, let us please allow every part of this country to make contribution.
All right.
And then we'll begin to see. Sorry to suppose something. Sometimes we see this country in terms of what they take. There are some people that have capacity that would have improved this country.
All right.
If you get them involved.
Okay.
That's what we need to give them opportunity.
All right, we'll go for a quick break. When we return, I would ask some more questions and then we'll move over to Real Talk.
empty wallet, oh, free from empty pocket, oh, yeah. Only one way, only one way, only one way. I take not the way. Trade for us like a pro. We go guide you as you go. Jolly, jolly, just to go. Oh yeah. Trade for us like a pro. We go guide you as you go. Jolly, jolly, just to go. Oh yeah.
It is still another wonderful, wonderful time for us to be here to talk about stuff. And when I say stuff, I mean stuff that can make your pocket fat and shapeless. I always say that because it's a very good sign when your pocket is bulgy and what is inside is not stone but money. And when we talk money, we talk about money in ways that you can get it very legitimately from the comfort of your home without breaking a sweat. But all you need to do is, learn a few skills that you'll be given, and it will change your life for the better. My name is Obinna, that's Obinna for short, and I'm here with Mr. Mike Fowope of Hantech Markets, and together we're going to be taking a look at the opportunities that avail you and why you should take advantage of them. Great to have you here, Mr. Mike.
Yeah, good day, listeners.
All right, so let's get down to business.
Good.
My mom would always say start from the very beginning. What is Hantech Markets? For those who are just
over 30 years ago in Hong Kong. And basically, what do? We create wealth. We make life how to trade into that market and make money. So we teach them the skills to make money in that market.
Now, why is it important for people to be taught?
Yeah,
because you see adverts everywhere. You tell you just download this app and pop, $150. People are shouting, "Yay! I just made $150." I mean, is it not that simple?
We are not people that hype. We are quite different. We tell people the right thing to do. Before a medical doctor will become a doctor, has to go through learning.
Yes.
For all of us, even broadcasters, you have to go through training.
Yes.
So nobody will tell you legitimately or correctly that you can make money without the right education. So that's where Hantech Market is different from others.
All right.
We don't hype. We'll tell you, yes, there's opportunity for people to make money in this market. I make money. I've been trading for 14 good years. I make money. Okay. What we do is we provide you the opportunity, but we don't just leave you like that.
Okay.
We'll teach you how to trade in that market and make money.
Okay. So what are the markets that are available for people to trade in?
It's online. It's a currency market. We have currency markets. We have commodities. We have energy. And let me just give a very good example so that people understand what we're talking here. So, an example of a currency market.
Yes.
It's, for instance, Naira against dollar. There's an exchange rate.
Yes.
I think for now, $1 equals 400 Naira.
Yeah, averagely, yeah.
Exactly, So, but you also note that this exchange rate fluctuates. It goes up, it comes down. That fluctuation gives opportunity for people to make money.
Okay.
So how does it happen? So, if I have a foresight that dollar is going to get to 450, we don't pray it happens, So what do I do? If I have that foreknowledge, so I just go and buy $1,000. I'll give the guy 400,000 Naira. It gives me so that you can make that money on your smartphone. You can do it.
All right.
You can do it anywhere you go. On my phone, most times I'm a very busy executive and I still trade. I look at my phone to see opportunity. Looking at the chart, I trade on the go. If I'm at home, I use my laptop to trade. So it's very easy. I tell people everybody should trade. Everybody should learn how.
Hello everyone. Hantech Market, an award-winning financial technology firm with 30 years in, will avail you the opportunity to learn how to make money in the currency market from the comfort of your home using your internet-based smartphone or laptop. You can use the sit at home as an opportunity to learn a skill set that will enable you to make money trading in the currency market. How can you take part of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? Simply SMS your name and location to this number 0805 690 5612, and our executives will call you to reserve a space for you and you through on how you can be connected, and also guide you through on how you can be connected to one of the online classes. Hantech Markets, trust through transparency.
Apart, and what kind of skill set does one need to have to be a trader? I remember in the early days they'll tell you, if you don't know maths, my brother, you have no business in the forex market. Is that the same story today?
Actually, what is needed is the ability to navigate through funds.
The use of technology. Okay.
That's all you need. Okay? Because let me give you a very good example. There's a woman in Dubai market. She came for training.
Okay.
This woman, she's not a graduate.
Okay.
She just came and said, okay, I want to learn how to make money. I've been hearing about people making money. To our seminar in Ibadan. From the seminar, she went for the first batch. She said, well, the University of Life, studied it and started trading. This woman makes $2,000 like every month.
Wow.
This woman. She came to testify. After 1 year.
Wow.
And she showed us. I was amazed. This woman she's not a graduate.
Wow.
Do you understand? Maybe she has a secondary school certificate.
Well, she has.
It's also important. If you don't know how to do that, the first thing you have to do is learn how to do those things, right? And I'm an open
Hantech Mark to ensure that they can
to the advance. We also teach them how. In fact, it's a class you shouldn't miss. I mean, you shouldn't miss, because we will teach you the basic to the adult people. In order to curtail the spread of COVID, which we are in total support of. And that's why we've taken the class from you are on transit. You can listen and watch our webinar on the go.
Interesting. Now, how does one be a part of this? How does one participate?
And it's very simple. If you want to learn how to make it's simple. All you need to do is just send your name.
Okay.
Probably location.
Okay.
Your name, location to this number. 080 56 90 5612. If you want to learn how to trade into the financial market, our online classes.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Mr. Mike Fokpe, for doing this. And I also want to thank you for listening to the Hantech Markets radio show. We're going to do this again some other time. But always take advantage of opportunities that present themselves before you so that you too can change your life. My name is OBINNA, and I'm signing out.
Freedom, so I take now the gateway, answer to your prayer, so everybody can know say now and take market. Some bankers know and take market. Country the forest market, free from empty wallet, though, free from empty pocket.
I go drop. I go pay you. No carry that woman. No carry that. Pay you. No to the go. Go pay me. I go pay you. Make I go.
Do we need to be guarded by one religion to meet with the Creator? The freedom of. Do we need to be guarded by one religion to meet with the Creator? Worship is a natural right to every being. Why raise arms to drag a man to accept your choice belief? The spiritual. Let's walk together as one in love and give respect to a man's choice of worship.
Wallahi, don't worry, I will pay for you. Or your inter, I will pay for you.
This information is brought to you by Today.
Not what you make public until the final stage.
Send your opinion to us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Today95.1 at Today FM 951.
It's more. Yes. But Dr. Chinwo, do you think it's possible, since we have all agreed that the zoning should be a thing for the now, until we get our system right? can we legalize it? Because if you're listening to Fashola or if you've read the report, you will see that he mentioned that it is unwritten and merely a gentleman's agreement. But since we want the representation of the different, everybody's wanting to feel among, can we document it?
For me, I will support it. You see, law all over the world is a documentation of the desire and intention of the people.
Okay.
We need to. Because, for instance, I'm concerned in River State. We should, if you are going to say it is zonal, you're going to say it is ethnic, but document it.
Okay.
Because you see, once there is hope in any person that this thing will get to me, he will even strengthen the man whose position it is today, so that he serves as it and gets to him.
Right.
But as long as it is still a possibility of the fastest gets it, the strongest gets it, you create a persistent state of crisis. So for me, we should legalize it.
You think so, Mr. Imam Ndukwe?
Yeah.
Dr. Muna?
Well, I think so. I think it should be legalized.
I feel differently.
Okay, tell us why.
Why I feel differently is that you don't legalize imperfection. And we have all admitted that rotation is an impact, is a representation or reflection of our imperfect state of politics.
Okay.
So I think that it is enough and should be enough to say that we have this understanding. It is more of a principle than a law. So it will be somehow to me to have it in the constitution of Nigeria.
But laws can be repealed.
It can be repealed, but it's not as easy as that. I think that law should be made to idealize the situation.
Okay. All right, let's move on. I was going to do political calculations, but I've been advised to move on. So let's move on. Yes, I was advised because somewhere inside of me, I still want to do that. Something we talked about when we were doing the newspaper review, and it can be found on the Guardian newspaper. It's a report on an argument that ensued yesterday in the Senate. And if you look at the Guardian, you would see the cap states and individuals who suffer allocated to the central government in the federation account each year. But the tone of the debate suddenly changed as Sani Musa, APC Niger State, rose to counter the prayers of Olujimi. Now, Musa contended that the havoc and killings carried out in the northern part of the country by bandits were too serious, underline that word now, to be compared to the destruction in Lagos. He said Lagos should not be singled out for compensation at the expense of other states that were also adversely affected. I do not see, that's quoting Sani Musa now, I do not see the difference from what the hoodlums have done during the #EndSARS protests. In the Northeast, we have seen the destruction and the mayhem that the Boko Haram brought to the region. We have seen innocent souls and homes destroyed. People have been killed. Till date, I have not heard the government say they are going to take the responsibility for compensation of the victims. Musa's argument attracted agitations by senators from other states where property were also destroyed. So we saw people like Basi Gershom Henry from Cross River South, come up to say, what, it should be all over the place, because he also talked about Calabar, where there was a mayhem and destruction that trailed the EndSARS protest. In the end, the Senate came to a resolution that the federal government should set up a visitation panel to visit all the states affected by the violence that trailed #protest. But the concentration here for us will be the argument between Sani rebuild whatever was destroyed, so that you can catch up.
Not subscribe to Olujimi's request, and I've made that clear. But I'm saying, if Sani is saying banditry, maybe in some parts of the north, and again the insurgency in the northeast, has Sani forgotten that it's because of this insurgency that made the Northeast Development Commission? It's not enough, maybe. And tell federal government, please come and pay us. I don't understand. Completely, I don't understand. All these things are ethnic considerations. As Olujimi said, that instead of saying, as senators, all of them rose and now said, every place should be investigated and then found out, visit them and found out.
That's for EndSARS. That's for states that are affected by.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's the way it should be. Federal government check other places. They don't need even to be nudged before they do it. check them, and then put all of them, perhaps according to the destruction, then you spend money.
But okay, don't you think that the northern region where this crisis, this terrorism and banditry issues are currently occurring should also see such visitation panels? Because I'll tell you, IDP camps. IDP camps have been said to be one of the most neglected areas in terms of marginalization in the country. And also look at it, looking at Borno, for instance, where the governor is trying to do the best he can, according to reports, you would see that there is so much destruction that the people don't even have what to go back to. So just maybe Sani Musa has a valid argument in the sense that if you're doing for NSAS protest violence, where Lagos State is saying is about 1 trillion naira, that money is big.
Kalada,
yes,
a lot of reasons can be given to why that thing that is happening in the Northeast. How did it start? But that's not what we're going into. How did it start and who started it? The individual, for instance, if I now in my own place, I start this kind of thing, I hate Western education and all that, and it becomes a problem to my state. First of all, those people that started there should be rounded up in the first place.
Okay.
But that's not what we're saying. But Oluchimi merely suggested that there were infrastructure destruction. And her own is that she now focuses on Lagos. No, it should go round.
All right.
But I am saying it is because of the insurgency in the Northeast that the Northeast Development Commission is also established.
All right, let's get your thoughts now, Dr. Chinwo.
Yeah, one good thing about this issue is that it is forcing the restructuring to happen by the reverse side. There is now a realization that certain states suffer certain things small and need certain attention. But the question is, how do we do it? It's unfortunate that Sani had to react. If he has stood up before now and presented that issue, look, people are being killed, Zamfara, Niger, all the place. So can we compensate them? It would have been okay. But now he waits for Olujimi to talk about Lagos, her own zone. He now stands up to the
which she has the right to.
She has the right to.
All right.
She now stands up to frustrate it. That has unfortunately been the trend. In the 60s, years before independence, Niger Delta agitated and established the Niger Delta Development Basin Commission. The next thing the North started, you have Nigeria River, you have all that kinds of river development, and the river development concept ended. We set up NDDC. The next thing here, Northeastern Development Commission. Now Southeast Development Commission.
Yeah.
So we're not like the people who think. We only wait for somebody to think up an idea and we act. But I think that why I say that this thing can help for restructuring is that it now gives me another idea. Why don't we say there should be no more VAT? The money you would have gotten from VAT in your state, use it to, at least for 2 years or 5 years, to 5 years, let's use it to restore your state. Then you will realize that, look, 60% or more of what comes from VAT comes from Lagos.
Okay.
And the man in Niger who is talking, nothing comes from there. And yet now somebody now says, why don't we rebuild this place that brings these resources? Okay. Just like they don't want Nigeria to be developed. This is the place that brings the oil. If you are wise, you will make Nigeria a very strong place, developed place.
Sorry?
So they will continue to contribute to the economy. But you want to destroy the place. When it comes to share, give us equally. When it comes to support, we don't do that. So to me, Olujimi's motion should be amended to say, let VAT be suspended for 5 years from all the states. So whatever you would have gotten from VAT, please use it to develop your state. I'm telling you, Lagos won't ask for 1% or 80%. Lagos will have enough to develop them, and Niger will crumble. So that's what we should think. When they're all
right, let's get your take now.
Yeah, I think that what transpired on the floor of the Hello Chamber is actually a reflection of the faulty federalism we're operating on. And under federalism, it is expected that the different states or regions should be responsible in terms of ensuring development and also making sure that there is good governance in their different regions. But unfortunately, that is not, and you can see that playing out. It also goes to show the statism, the adverse effect of statism, which of course focuses on centralization. Over-centralization in this country is part of our problem.
Okay.
It's part of our problem. And for somebody to say that you know that you have been suffering from banditry all this while, and you're a member of the house, all this while you have not moved the motion, and that tells us why some of those are members of parliament what they do there. Some of them just go there, they don't move any motion, they don't say anything, they just sit down there and wait for allowances and all that. Why there are people that are suffering? They don't say anything. And I'm sure that he rose up to say that out of malice, out of greed, out of the fact that look, how can Lagos take all this? That was when he woke up from slumber. And it's unfortunate. Most of our representatives are not doing anything there at the National Assembly. So it is important for us to understand that. And again, when you talk about compensation, I was thinking it has to do with critical national infrastructure. Those infrastructures that play very prominent role in terms of development of this country. If you have such structures or infrastructures in Lagos, and I want to believe that it may not be only for the benefit of Lagosians, it must be for the benefit of all Nigerians. There are some critical infrastructures. And so those infrastructures should be given attention, And if you have that in the north, it should also be given that attention because it has to benefit every Nigerian. But when it has to do with lives of individuals, I think the state government should take care of it, because if you say the federal government should have, there are also people who died here in Rivers State, in other parts of the country, not only because of NSAS protests. Death is death. There are people who lost their lives, maybe due to one thing or neglect or state or security. They should also be compensated. But for me, my argument is that the compensation, the visitation thing should concentrate on those critical infrastructure, national infrastructure that have immense benefit to all Nigerians.
All right.
That should be their focus.
All right, let's hear from you, Dr. Invite.
Well, I'm not quite sure I have a very good solution to this, but just to lend a voice. Laws are not made to address the present. Once laws are made to address the present, there is bound to be some level of sentimentalism that will affect that law. Laws are usually made for the future.
All right.
So if there had been, and I want to believe that there had been, and there still are laws that regulate situations like that. From the way the NSAS thing went, it's clear that the majority of those who took part in the protest within different states were more of residents of those states. People were not transported from one state to the other to go and do the protest.
All right.
What that means is that what happened in Lagos was caused more by the residents of Lagos. What happened in Rivers State was caused more by people from Rivers State.
All right.
So I would kind of coming up the victims.
The same states that are crying out that their allocations are not enough.
Because for example, if you don't make it state-based and you make it national, what if the center decides to take a certain amount of money from all the states of the federation? State.
Okay.
So states should take care. Even if federal government is going to assist, but more of the funds should be what is supposed to be used to run the state.
Also, it should be more like a federal government.
Yes, a collaboration. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay. That's much we can take for opinion poll. After the break, when we come back, we will have real talk. There's real talk. We will be looking at the visit by the presidential delegation to the South region. And hey, the 6 South governors and leaders of the South zone made a certain demand. We will be looking at it. And I will be politicizing the conversation because, what do I do? What do I do? You stay tuned, and when we come back.
Opinion poll on today's quest.
More than 3 over 4 of the loots we are talking about in this country today were loots within the 16 years.
Here is a great opportunity to sample all our opinions on the issues raised.
in Port Harcourt says the PDP is trying to divert our attention because Nigerian funds was looted by the PDP. Melody in Uniport says Madam Jonah is yet to come in terms of the fact that her tenure has expired. Annie, please tell him that investigation is not what you make public until the final stage.
Send your opinion to us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Today95.1 FM, or on Twitter @TodayFM951. You can also sample your opinions with us on WhatsApp or on our SMS portal using the numbers 070-1933-9962.
Real talk.
Real talk.
But
it is the head that is supposed to push the followers.
Today 95.1 FM, we bring you insights, intrigues, and happenings on the local politics of the Niger Delta.
But if that property you have somewhere worth that 1 billion is tied to a fraud of state money, if you can prove it's your personal money, you didn't commit any crime.
Join us every weekday, 9:45 a.m. to 11 a.m. Real talk. Keeping it real.
All right, 15 minutes to the top of the hour, and it's time for us to begin real talk. And yes, this session we will focus on the Niger Delta region, or Rivers State. But we have this report. I mean, you already know that sometime last week there was the aggrieved South leaders who were fuming, and they were saying, how dare they call us? And then, they shifted it the first time, shifted it the second time, and then they cancelled. We need an apology. We need to be apologized to. How can they take us for granted? We are the people who bring the oil that finances the nation, and yes, they would not listen to us. And you remember one of the presidential aides came out and said, okay, you know what, it wasn't personal. It wasn't because we don't respect you. It was basically because we had an emergency security meeting. And of course, the debate then was, was the security meeting a strong enough reason to have cancelled on, the leaders of the South zone. Yesterday, the report did emanate that the meeting was holding at the government house here in Rivers State, and in attendance. I want to start from attendance now, because I took names of people who attended, and that's where the politics comes into play. From the people who attended, the Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Adamu was present. Deputy Senate President Senator Ovie Omo-Agege was present. Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs, of course, is from the South region. I'm talking about Godswill Akpabio. Minister State for Labor Festus Keyamo was also present. Minister of Health Osage Yanire was present. Minister of Information, I'm wondering what he was doing there because he's not from the region, but he was also present. Lai Mohammed, okay, he's the image maker, like Mr. Emmanuel Ndukwe said. But there's one person I did not see. I'm talking about the Minister for Transportation. Because I remember when that visitation panel was, set up, I hear it was supposed to be a constitution of people, ministers and aides from that region. But I did not see Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi. No, I didn't see him. But before we get to that point where, Rotimi Amechi, was absent at the meeting, some of the demands made by the South leaders was the immediate relocation of the headquarters of oil multinationals to their operational bases in the South region. Immediate relocation of government-owned oil subsidiaries from Lagos and Abuja to the South region. I'm guessing NNPC and the likes. Also, immediate completion of the East-West Road still under construction. Oh my, since I was born, now I'm getting old.
Yeah, I've not seen the road completed.
I've not seen the road completed. And the immediate privatization of the refineries in Port Harcourt and worry for effectiveness. And also, this one also caught my attention. Giving full monies to the NDDC, the same NDDC that it's caught in controversies, and of course the reactivation of seaports, the Calabar to Lagos rail line, as well as true federalism. And I think they mentioned things like resource control, fair revenue sharing, state police, and many more. They also mentioned, I feel this might have come from the governor of River State. I really feel this one. They also mentioned that all projects done by NDDC must first of all must have undergone due consultation with the governors in this region. But let's look at some of it now. Relocation of the headquarters of these oil parastatals or multinationals and government subsidiaries to... We're still suffering insecurity. I mean, Rumokoro was shut down because of cultist activities. Insecurity is still a theme. No offense to anybody, but insecurity is still a theme. If insecurity is still a theme in Niger Delta, would you want to move your business to where, or is it that the 6 governors are promising the multinationals that they will be able to secure their properties? That's one. Number 2, we still have issues where communities, oil-producing communities, are saying the memorandum of understanding, the MOU that is signed with these companies, are either outdated or missing. And if that is the case, that means when these people return, there will be more we no go gree or we no go gree in the various multinationals that will be relocating to the South-South region. There's also the talk of the East-West Road under construction. We are in a season of recession. Government is saying we don't have enough money to give allocation to the states. In general, will the government be able to meet the demands by the South-South governors? And the political angle from this that I'm getting to see is there is no timeline. I mean, someone should correct me. There is no timeline given to this presidential delegation. Say, as you're going to tell your principal, bye, we would have seen all of this done. Let's start with you, Mr. Mao.
Well, when you said there is no timeline, maybe we didn't hear from them to say maybe in 1 month time. But all of them are to be delivered with immediacy.
Is that what what they're saying, or you're
No, you said it there.
Okay.
Immediate. This one immediate with all of them.
In Nigeria, immediate could be 2030. It could be 2040. It could be 2060.
Well, I will take it by the one I understand and the one I want to start with, because when you are saying all of them should be delivered to you with immediacy, that means is as soon as possible.
Okay.
That's what I take it. But see, in terms of one, I just want to pick that of return of the relocation of the oil majors into Niger Delta. I don't know. I want to believe that insecurity exists in the Niger Delta, but is any way secured in Nigeria? Do you know what it means? You are in Lagos, but you come down here, maybe in Ogoni land,
all right,
to explore your oil.
All right.
Because one day, it has never stopped. The activities of the oil majors have never stopped in this volatile Niger Delta area.
But their headquarters cannot stay.
No, hold on now. What I mean is that you get the food here always, and no day has it stopped to say that because of this difficulty we can't get it here. But you go to another place and the flow of oil has been on. So for me, I think it's hypocritical to be wherever they may be, while the activities remain all the time they keep on doing that. So let them return if they want to return.
Okay.
Remember, it is in the hands of federal government to provide security.
All right.
So whether they're in Lagos, they're in Sokoto, wherever, federal government do the needful.
All right.
Now, in terms of every other thing the demands they made, these are genuine demands of people, not only the Niger Deltans, but the fact remains that apart from with immediacy as a cap, I think these are things government should give attention to.
All right.
In the way I look at it, let them, for equity's sake. But the angle I do not always agree with people is true federalism. I think federalism has no true or fake. Federalism is federalism.
But we're not practicing the
Wait,
federalism.
we are not practicing federalism in this country.
But we say, yeah. So it's fake.
No, what cap is true? No.
All right.
We are not even dealing with federalism. There's no fiscal federalism here. Nothing. Devolution of power, we don't have them. Then how can we be claiming?
All right. Let's get your take on this one.
Well, thank you very much. My concern is what happened yesterday. And that's why, I said we blame our fathers, but we are doing worse than the fathers.
Okay.
Why did the South governors make that yesterday an in-house meeting? That's essentially what happened.
Okay.
They brought politically correct people.
Okay.
People who say what the governors want to hear.
Mm.
These people snubbed us last time.
Mm.
And those you invited, I wasn't invited. But at least I saw some young men and some people
vibrant
who could. I didn't see whether Anki Obris was yesterday. I don't know whether Lady Meter was yesterday. Okay. I don't know whether Lady Meter was there. The young man who spoke from Ijaw youth said that it went viral. They not carefully kept them away. The question now comes, did Gambare and his team apologize? I didn't hear that.
Okay.
And it all shows the kind of things we do in governance in Nigeria. One, what does it take a man? Bill Clinton once said that there's no better way or there's no alternative way to say, I am sorry. Shouldn't Gambari, an international diplomat, been humble enough to say, Niger Delta people, I am sorry? But because our leaders, even in the state and local government and national, don't say sorry, we acted as if nothing happened. And then our own leaders here, we are very careful to ensure that they didn't bring those who will come and, rabble rouse. Oh, so don't come. They didn't, I'm sure most Niger, I didn't hear it on the news that they were coming. How come the chief of staff of this country with the team of ministers are coming? Nobody had. The governors now quietly gathered them in a smaller place and all that, and then read paper. That is why they keep taking us for granted, and they will continue taking us for granted. Because you create the room that your own people don't matter. So all that happened, it didn't happen in the north. When the north met, they were all there. It was an open gathering. But their own is select some chief few traditional rulers who will not say anything. You select some few political leaders who will say what you want to hear. And you say South has met. South have not met, and unfortunately, that's why they will treat us continue to do the way they do.
All right.
On the issues they raise, talk about moving South company. It makes me laugh when we talk about IOC should move down to Port Harcourt or South. See, these companies were invested in by Nigerians of Western Nigeria and Northern Nigeria extraction. People in the Niger Delta are so poor that they don't invest. How many of them are shareholders or serious shareholders in oil companies? So when the board is taking decision, you are not there. And it pains me that our leaders in the South today are not having an understanding to say, look, let us empower our people to invest in the oil industry.
Okay.
What has Rivers State government done? Which Rivers person has any investment in the oil industry? Which Delta man? And so if you don't have, if you don't have, you can't detect for them where they run their business.
I think Rivers State, there was a report of Rivers State government buying shares into one of the
If you are bought, where is it happening? What is happening? We want to know. Okay. Calendar. If you have, it's a business venture. The owners of this radio station decided where to site it because it will suit their interest.
Of course.
I'm not going to stay in my community and say, if you don't come to Origwe, I will not listen to Today FM. Today FM will continue going on.
But the point is, today FM is not taking resources from Origwe. So
who told you? When we Origwe will advertise there. But later, if we say we will not advertise there because we don't, because we are not in Origwe, you will continue your business. So that is what we must wake up to.
Okay.
Niger Delta is not investing, and governments of Niger Delta have no conception of that. You have not thought about saying, let us empower some rivers people. I'm not saying me, I'm not a politically loyal person, they will say. But there are those who are loyal. I keep wondering, what is the loyalty for? Because when you are shouting every day, they must go, IOC should come here. The IOC man, as when they meet at the board meeting to decide, there is only maybe a Yoruba man, an Hausa man, or maybe an Igbo man, and a white man. The white man doesn't know the difference between Equatorial and Yoruba. He only says this is a Nigerian. And the Nigerian say, look, in the best interest of Nigeria,
let's stay in Lagos.
We stay in Lagos. And the man doesn't know, doesn't even understand what you difference between Nigeria and Delta. So he stays there. He flies in every day on a helicopter. And we are suffering. We must get involved. And even though we have not gotten all we are entitled to in our oil industry, that the 30% resources we are having, if we invested it well with vision, I'm telling you, we can take over the oil industry. But we are not doing it. So we'll continue to be on the sidelines. That's why they will tell you security. When they mad the Yoruba man, they are the major investors in River State. There's no talk of security. The Hausa man, there's no talk of security. But see, this one is corporate. So we must be strategic in our thinking so that we can get what we think belongs to us.
All right. Let's get to you now. They seem to also talk about, industrialization, talking about concessioning refineries, making sure the seaports in the south region, Calabar, Port Harcourt, Warri, all of them functional. Generally, what's your take on their demands?
Well, I think anything worth doing is worth doing well. And for me, I think that if you are in for a struggle, you should actually get to the depth of that struggle and get something out of it. The demands, when I heard about the demands, I was thinking if people are actually serious with what they're saying, some of them, particularly with the issue of moving headquarters to the Niger Delta. And I ask, when moving headquarters, it's not just have a structure there. Like maybe you come to Murumo, Korea, have this building is for IOC structure. Okay, it's in our land. For me, I don't think that is what we want. Because even if you move, share headquarters, for instance, to River State, Port Harcourt, you just have a structure.
But then again, you'll be forced to employ people.
No, I said that's the area I'm coming. Therefore, are they employing? Are they employing? Even with the cleaners, that's the area I'm coming to.
Okay.
Even with because you find out that from the gateman to the COE or MD, there are people who are not from this part of the globe. And you just say, okay, this is fine building, the headquarters is here, and they will clap for you. It's for me, it's around nonsense. I don't believe that. Because I know that this kind of demand has been met before, and nothing happened. This issue of moving oil headquarters for me, it doesn't make any sense. In as much as we don't have a commanding influence, just like Chinwo said, we don't have commanding influence. The managing director, the personnel manager, everybody are not from here. And if they want to employ, they employ based on what they want. They don't even look at the local content you are talking about. It's even not being respected. So what are we talking about? The fact that you are moving, I felt somehow that that's part of what our leaders asked for. Instead of asking that, look, the commanding height of this company should reflect the people of the Niger Delta. That is the main control. The building is not the control. And again, you talked about the railways and the industrialization. Good industrialization. But again, it falls on the same issue. You have a post authority here. How many people from the Niger Delta have access to? How do they make influence? Is there any person from the Niger Delta that has influence making decisions there? If you go there, you have all the Northerners and Igbos and Yorubas all there throughout. And you need to ask, is this actually in River State, in Niger Delta? Even if you bring a railway construction, you construct railways, yes, it will ease movement. But who actually is in control?
All right.
We are talking about control here.
All right.
Now, lastly, on the issue of, because that one, I feel so hard about that one. Where they said if your NDDC wants to make a project,
full consult the
why
governors.
should they? I know that NDDC has a blueprint for the development of Niger Delta.
Governor Wike has explained that, there's always a clash. There's always, where, for instance, I want to build here and the NDDC comes and builds or something that the government has already... Governor Wike explained that.
I think that it has to do with it's a matter of wisdom and understanding. Because if the state government is building something, there must be sign to show that construction is going on
No,
here.
you know, sometimes they might not have started, but they have budgeted for it. And you know, when you budget for something, you go through the legislative arm of government. And same thing with NDDC. When NDDC is making a budget, they send it to the federal government, who then sends it to the national assembly. So when both sides are budgeted.
Sorry, let me interrupt you on this.
Okay.
You know, in my community road, Oligwe Road, NDDC said they were constructing it.
Yeah.
And when I wrote them, they said they have spent 495 million and I have the letter to today.
Yeah.
Which they did nothing.
Yeah.
Now, if they had coordinated 495 million, I have the letter written by NDDC.
All right.
So I can say it boldly on air because it's even a matter in court.
All right.
Now, they stole that money from the federal government off. State government did the road in 2016, which I also vouched for. Do you understand me now? If they had coordinated, perhaps NDDC would have contributed 490 or said 450 million to Rivers State government. There would have been some money.
Yeah.
Nigeria money would have been saved. So that's why I think it would be necessary to collaborate with them.
If it's just a matter of, because I know that if NDDC want to construct any project, ideally it is expected that state government should be consulted in terms of we want to do this project. What's your position? But I don't think that's the position of that.
Okay. So you're thinking it from a political angle?
Yes, I want to believe that it's where the state government must be consulted to actually give approval.
Okay.
For such projects.
Okay.
Because we can see some of them in the Niger Delta, some of the state government that appear to be one-sided in terms of development. And of course, you know that NDDC, there's a blueprint for the development of Niger Delta.
Okay.
And I think it's that blueprint that the NDDC is working in accordance with. So for me, my fear is that if you allow state government to, meddle into this, there will be a situation where there could be that conflict in terms of...
So you are saying that the state governors want to...
There might be a hijack,
so
to speak.
Okay.
So, and that's my worry.
All right. Let's get to you now, Dr. Mbete. Let's look at it from this angle. Ken Saro-Wiwa, the people in the Creek at the time when there was the Creek movement, all of them had similar demands. The demands were resource control. Give us more percentage in the derivatives. We need industrialization. Refineries should be working. This, that, this. Of course, the East-West Road was part of the demands by the people, and there are similarities. And the federal government, even though they say, it was PDP, now it's APC, government is a continuum. And if government is a continuum, and we've seen the same guarantee now that the government will react positively to the demands, and it will not just be another visitation by the federal government and the white paper documentation.
Well, it's difficult for me to say with any air of certainty whether the federal government is going to respond positively. It is only the government that can say that. But I want to say that most of the demands, I don't know whether they were demands or requests, depending on how they were presented, but most of the demands or requests, in my view, are reasonable.
Okay.
For example, if they say that they should relocate the headquarters of the major IOCs to Niger Delta, it makes sense.
Okay.
We know that with the tax system we have, when people are paid salaries or wages, the income tax is given to the state where they reside.
All right.
Yes. So what that means is that Rivers State or the states in the Niger Delta are losing most of what should come to them in terms of development arising from the taxes. So it makes sense also for them a major role in trying to make sure that their communities are secure. Yes, I agree that there's no place in the world that is perfectly secure, but as at the time when those companies were relocated, their headquarters were relocated, things were actually unbearable. I want to also believe that it's better now than it was some time ago. So with this, the appeal to government, to federal government, to get them to relocate to these states would be okay. Again, on the part of the federal government, they should know that security of lives and property is first and foremost the responsibility of the federal government.
Okay.
So if they merely permit the relocation of these companies from the Niger Delta states to other states without doing anything or anything serious to secure the people, it would mean that, or it could be taken to mean that they are saying you can perish in your Niger Delta. We don't have anything to do with you. So federal government and state governments within the Niger Delta should collaborate to make sure that the business climate is such that can allow for such relocation. That was one aspect of the things they demanded for. On the issue of the NDDC getting clearance from states before they embark on projects, I think that one thing is missing, and is also what is causing this. Our budgeting system is not transparent.
Okay.
For example, if River State publishes their budget and it's online, and from day one, every community knows that they have this project that is going to be done in their community this year. And then we also have that of NDDC. And you post copies of these to local government areas. And people can go to the local government areas and get copies of the River State budget, or they go online, they get NDDC. If a company comes to, a contractor comes to their community to say they want to do this road or this project, they will know whether it is there on state government list or not. So, but because they want to deceive the people, they're only deceiving us to say they will do this, they will do that. They hide their budgets. Budgets are not supposed to be secret. They're supposed to be public documents. So I think that will also take care of that clash.
I want to ask a question, and I want to start with you now.
All right.
Now, if you listen to the argument, you'd have heard them say, I think it was Dr. Chinwe who said that there is some kind of sabotage from from this region, because whenever opportunities like this come, we don't go with the togetherness that we're supposed to go with. If I understood you clearly there, the Minister of Transport was absent. I don't know the reason, and I'm only speculating right now. But you see, when we look at other regions, for instance, the Southwest, when there is such opportunities, they come together. You see everybody from that region saying the same thing, having one voice, even if they are from different parties. For example, the Amotekun, you saw everybody come and say we need the regional security in the Southwest. But we're not seeing it here play out in the South.
Well, talking about the absence of the Minister of Transport or Transportation at the meeting, that's something I also think that we cannot hazard any reason about. Only the minister himself can say why he wasn't there.
Okay.
If I were the minister,
and
I wasn't properly consulted, no matter what, I wouldn't be there. And we can't sit here and know whether he was properly involved in the process of the meeting. If he was invited, and if you also just invite me to attend something I don't know what the agenda is, I also may not attend. Apart from this may just be my own thinking.
Okay.
But you know they are politicians. And he knows that this is also speculative. I mean, I'm not saying this is what happened. People from the center are coming to his state. If he was not properly involved from the beginning, they like crowd. He will feel that when he gets there, he'll be seen as somebody who is not on ground.
Okay.
He doesn't have a crowd who will applaud when he speaks.
That's reasonable.
He might be booed. So he doesn't want his people to come and say, oh, you're not on ground in your state. They have planned it in such a way that when he speaks, they will boo him. When others speak, they will praise him. So the best thing would be for him to avoid it.
All right.
These are possibilities.
Let's hear from you, Dr. Chinwe.
Well, it's the embarrassment of politics in River State.
Okay.
It's a shame, and that it has to be so. The predecessor of Amechi never got to the government house throughout the time. But neither Dili nor Meya got to the government house throughout the time Amechi was governor. It's a shame. Now Amechi is out. Amechi has never gotten to the government house throughout the time Wike is there. It's a shame. And it's also likely to be, if we're not careful, that Wike leaves and never gets to government, not because he wants to give the man space, but because of unnecessary antagonism.
Okay.
We must stop this kind of politics we play. Other judge never got to the government house while he was governor. So they must ask themselves question, what kind of leader are you? They say there's no success without successor. And then you have a situation where every successor doesn't want to see his predecessor want to see his successor. And we have a state. What kind of state is
and how does the state grow in that regards then?
That is the problem. How does state grow? We don't tap from your experience. Rather, you go to Abuja, you go to London, and you are antagonizing the state. We must bring a change to this. Right. There's no synergy between the center. Look, today, if Today FM invites Amechi and he comes here, Governor Wike may not come if you invite him.
We'll try to invite him.
How do you run a state like that? How do you run a state? If an organization now, see, if any organization in Rivers, if any university state says, look, we want to honor, say, Amechi, that university is in crisis, where Rivers State governor is.
Yeah.
And vice versa. That is the worst way to destroy a nation, a state. So I don't know how we say that. I keep advocating Rivers State needs to sit down and talk to ourselves.
All right.
Because the things where the part we have taken is it has made us useless to our own nation.
All right.
Everybody can run over us.
Let's hear from you, Mr. Mama. You remember? Well, you remember was it Caribbean White, the late.
Yeah, just
you saw the
that is the situation what happened.
All right, let's
well, the truth is that what CJ said may be exactly what has been happening, and of course, it's not maybe. It's exactly what has been happening in River State. There was a time we were talking about who to succeed this and that, and I said, well, from at least Odili, he never wanted Amechi to be governor. Yeah. And Amechi never wanted Wike to be governor. So it has continued that way. Maybe that's what. Yeah. But for now, I think I want to go with Dr. Mbete. You know why? We are talking about this particular meeting that Amechi was absent. Emmanuel Ndukwe doesn't know why he was absent. All I know is that it could be what CJ has narrated, some of the bad blood existing between them. It could also be that he had what made this meeting not hold on the day it was previously scheduled. Could be another problem of jobs he has on his hands, and so he has to be absent because of the schedule that is so tight. It could also be that he was not duly consulted.
Okay.
Because for me, he's a single individual.
All right.
Niger Delta stakeholders had a meeting with representatives of the presidency.
I still remember that when the directive was given, it was given to an aides in...
What I'm only saying, he is one out of the lot. At least you mentioned the people that came and they're not from...
All right, let's get to you.
It's possible that you would have attended if it was in Kwara State. If it was in Bayelsa also.
I think it could continue. It could be. Nobody here will say for sure this is the reason why he didn't attend that meeting. But I think that for a Minister of Transportation, the Federal Cabinet, and who hails from this part of the country, I want to believe that the president would have had that kind of, should I say, implicit trust on him for him to be in that meeting. And I want to believe that officially, that the president would have included him as part of the delegate, official delegate from the president. That would not take into consideration the fact that he's from River State, but the fact that he's a serving minister and that the president also delegated him to be there. I don't know why. I want to be because we have other ministers who are from the Niger Delta on the presidential team, right?
Yeah.
So I expect that he should also be part of the team. Maybe as we are speculating, it could be he was not feeling fine at the point it could be, or maybe the president just suddenly gave him an assignment to be doing something like that. Nobody will want to say for sure. But if the truth must be told that just like what Chinwo said, that you see, government is a continuum. We had some projects that have been established here by the previous government. But unfortunately, this present government did not even pay this thing to They didn't do even anything. Most of the projects were destroyed, allowed to rot away. They planted something that when it was allowed to die, the fishing fountain, probably because it was established by the previous government. And these are projects that they are proper projects. I mean, they have the interest of the people at hand. We had expected that government should have continued with those projects, having the interest of the people at heart.
All right.
I'm not saying that is the reason, but just to add the voice to what.
You know, this is where my concern comes into play as we are about to open the phone lines. It is that, you know, Amechi is not just a 7 minister. He's a prominent member of the APC. As a matter of fact, if you open the phone lines and ask, a lot of people will tell you he is the leader of APC in River State. So as prominent as he is, it's only expected that he should, I mean, even if people don't clap for him.
Is it the
It's
leader of
possible he
APC?
had good reasons for not attending.
Okay. It's all possibility. Probability. Probability here and there. But it's 20 minutes gone past the hour of 11. It's time for us to open the phone line. It's time for you to contribute. Right from newspaper review, we have touched on so many issues up until opinion poll, up on legal practitioner and legal analyst living in Nigeria. In the studio, we have Dr. Emmanuel Wona, lecturer, Department of Political Science, University of Port Harcourt. And we have Dr. Desmond Mbete, lecturer, Department of Philosophy, University of Port Harcourt, as well as Mr. Emmanuel Ndukwe, lecturer, Today 95.1 FM. All right, numbers to call in.
Maybe you are speculating.
0810-9510951 and 0817-0000951. Your text messages to the number 0701-933-9962. Let's find out who we have here now. 95.1 FM.
Hello, good morning. I'm so glad you're calling from Rumibo.
Welcome.
Good morning to all the team members. A quick one, yeah. Except we prioritize the development of this region, we can never get it right. By that, I mean the so-called leaders. I know I'm using that language. If you notice from the period of all delay to the short thing to me I had till Amechi and Wiki, you discover that there has not been continuity. I drove past one day GRA Junction and I asked the question, why do we still have that mall there? The land is occupied, the state funds that it is sucked. Amechi came and paid deaf ears to it and nothing happened. Wiki came and has abandoned every other project, and yet every time we talk about them as leaders, they don't love the region. They are all personified in their thinking, in their thoughts. But on the issue of the IOCs coming to Niger Delta, I want to ask a question. Beyond them coming, the governor is ready to create an enabling environment. How well are you sure that you can curtail the insecurities that will emanate from here? I know every other region in Nigeria is experiencing security issues. But when these people come, how do we, before you ask questions, I'm sure on their own, there should be an internal mechanism to check how these insecurities will be curbed.
All right.
Because when they come and tomorrow the boys start harassing them like we have what is happening in Rumokoro, it becomes an issue when people are contractors who have been paid or people who have been paid to go do work, even if they take you to Pola or these regions, can you guarantee them returning back to Port Harcourt or returning back to their families? Can you guarantee their securities before you start calling them? Let the state governors within the Niger Delta sit down, draw out the security, look at how they can secure the region. That way we can start asking reasonable questions.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's move to the next caller. All right, keep your calls coming in. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Yeah, this is Pastor Zaya George from Buguma in Calabar.
All right, Pastor
Zaya. Good morning
Zaya.
to you and all your studio guests. Okay, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Yes. You see, the problem is that I don't know why people begin to kill mosquito while even the mosquito is not rightly on them, and it is on somebody, and you are just busy instead of using that time to do something meaningful for yourself. We have our people here who stay abroad over 30 years, 20 years. Physically, they are not present, but everything decisively in their family, they stay over there, and orders have been taken from them before it is being done. Physically, they are not present. Why must, if the Minister of Transportation is not here, that things cannot be done? Is it until he is there? The one that he has been there and has been given rightful orders have been neglected over the years, and you're expecting somebody who, okay, his physical presence alone will, so that you can play politics with his physical presence, and then when he goes, you begin to say all kinds of things, create political reaction left and right. Is it that? Is it what they want? Now, the people who are even present in that meeting, look at that political gathering, because if the minister is there and it needs to meet such people who are also there, there will be, in fact, there will be a fallout, because his presence and his presentations will not tally with what they will be presenting there, and that is one thing. The next thing is that
summarize, please.
Yes, most of the requests they are putting as to it, even the president has a right to carry out those things. It has to pass through the National Assembly. It is not just. And lastly, the 13% derivation that they have been taking, the governors, how is the impact in the region over the years? All the money that accrued to the Niger Delta. The Niger Delta used to be the region that takes a lot of money.
All right, thank you.
How has it been duly utilized?
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
No job, no promotion.
Thank you very much, Isaiah George. Thank you very much. We've got to go. Thank you very much. Let's read some text messages. This one says, K.M. Oswald, good morning, everyone. For me, Rotimi Amechi should resign as a minister. Where's that coming from? Because he failed to lead a delegation to the South. Amechi should also not lead a political campaign to this region. All right. I see your sentiments now. This one says, nobody should misunderstand Fashola. The gentleman agreement in APC was after Buhari's second term. The presidency will come back to the Southwest. It was sounded loud in 2019 during the campaigns by Fashola and Tinubu to the Southwesterners that voted Buhari, so that the presidency will come back to the Southwest, and so they voted Buhari. I think that it is the reminder Fashola is making. The Southeast and Umai were out of that agreement in the APC. Mr. Law, you went on to say, is it in Lagos and Abuja that the oil company is drilling the oil, or is drilling the oil? I believe you meant to say. All the companies' equipment are in the south. They drill the oil with insecurity, but they cannot locate their headquarters in the south with the same insecurity. Is that not hypocrisy and double standards? Mr. Law, thank you very much. This one says, I commend the South governors for demanding for true federalism, but I am worried why these same governors are strongly against local government and judicial autonomy.
Honestly, you can now see why I said there's no
traditional. Oh God! He went on to say, for me, this is hypocritical. He was saying hypothetical. No. Hypothetical is what he wrote here, and should be condemned. Christian Williams from Igbo. All right, I love what you just sent in. I really do. This one says, nobody should be compensated. The government considered to all the demands, yet we still urge them on not knowing the implications of letting the dogs out. The so-called victims are the same people who supported the protest. On Amechi, we should remember that a stage-managed booing was organized against him the last time he was at Government House, Mr. Webb. Okay. For the sir who talked about on Seaport, that Niger Delta are not represented except North, Yoruba, and Igbos. Are Igbos not Niger Delta as well as Yoruba? Last time I checked, Imo, Abia, Ondo, Edo, Niger Deltas. Papi, all right, Papi, thank you very much for that one. 95.1 FM, what's your name?
Canada.
Gift, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
On time, good morning. Good morning to all the guests.
Good morning, Gift.
It's with a heavy heart that I want to make this contribution this morning.
I hope
all is well. I hope all is well. Go ahead.
Frankly speaking, we are shooting ourselves on the foot. We are helping these people to punish the Niger Delta. As a person, I have been part of this whole struggle. My own is just for peace and this region to be developed.
whether these leaders from the Niger Delta are misbehaving or not. Before today, the barrister there, Shion, will even tell all of us that it's not something of today or yesterday. It has been there, this punishment. When will this Niger Delta be free from this old punishment? That is my input on this morning, Canada.
All right.
We're helping these guys, frankly speaking. So for you to relocate so that the revenue that Lagos State today is making at the end of the day, Niger Delta too will be part of it. And we are justifying that they should not come in just a building. It is not just a building. They will pay revenue to this Niger Delta state. I'm not talking about Bayelsa, Rivers, or Akwa Ibom. Come back to the Niger Delta. That was why even the VP then supported that argument. And it has been here since. The VP said relocate immediately to this very place. Whether openly said that, then secretly he asked them to remain. That is a different ballgame. Yes, because the Yorubas and the Hausas and few peoples are there, we agree. But you cannot tell me you will come to my community in Southern Nigeria and exploit and punish the people. These people are dying of cancer and all the rest. Somebody just filing. Do you know that Wajabia Miller, in the House of Reps before he became a speaker, stood up to say no national, that is a multinational, will relocate to Niger Delta when this argument came up before today. Whether Meshi was there or not, it is none of my business because he was part of the federal government delegate, not consultation from the governors. That even before this very meeting, they asked all leaders, especially the ministers, go back to your states. We refuse to come. This particular one again, the same thing. It is not about River State, but Niger Delta and South. These guys are joking with people. With time, they will regret their actions.
All right. Thank you very much, Gift. Thank you very much, Gift. Your point is.
Gift is annoyed.
Yes, he's annoyed. He's riled up right now. But let's read this WhatsApp message. It says, "Good morning, all. Fashola must be daydreaming to say the PDP is weak to wresting power from the APC. As it is now, the APC is so weak considering its failed promises, lopsided appointments, anti-people's policies, and human rights abuses they have perpetrated all along, and this has pitched majority of Nigerians against the APC. I tell Fashola, APC is just surviving because of Buhari. The moment Buhari is not contesting any further election, there will be a major scramble by members of the APC that will fix the APC in disarray. People will defect from the APC owing to the imminent scramble by its members." Onyawaji Fineface in Good Town. This one is from Hector. The demands made by the South governors and leaders are not anything new. These are already overblown issues made over the time, even the previous administration, by the people of the region. Secondly, I perceived hypocrisy in their demand. The same governors that are against local government and judicial autonomy are calling restructuring. Is that not hypocrisy? Good morning, Hector Christopher. Thank you for that one. Okay, let's go to the next one. This one says, "Good morning, Kalada. Like one of your guests said, it is so sad and disheartening to hear that the meeting held on a silent and behind secret closed door without even
that should have come to the
without even the supposed apology being made known to the region publicly. Canada, please help me to tell our South leaders to go and ask Esau what a man who sold his birthright suffers. They have sold their birthright, and that is why FG and the presidency have no iota of regards for them, despite the huge contribution to the nation's resources." Chidi, all right, Chidi with that one. Politics of zoning has been the major problem bedeviling democracy in Nigeria right from 1999 till date. I advocate that we need to go for competency if possible and avoid considering that a candidate is from this or that region or Conte Gillies Victor. Let's take some calls now. 95.1 FM, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Yeah, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
I'm Chris from Port Harcourt.
All right, Chris from Port Harcourt, welcome.
Yes, I want to say that when your guest said there was insecurity, that was why the headquarters of... I've never seen the headquarters of all these companies in Port Harcourt. So it has been there right from the beginning. They should check their history.
Let me correct you now. We would not use less. It's a matter of vocabulary. We would not say relocation if it wasn't first located in a region. Am I wrong? I mean, you wouldn't use the word relocation. So if it was never in the Niger Delta or the South region, then the word relocation would not have even come into play in the first place.
You don't know his age.
Okay. Now, another one is somebody said that they did not consult the minister, transport minister very well. Is it libation they should have poured, or how would they have done it?
He said it's a possibility. He did not say it's a certainty.
Okay, now, and he's there for himself. I thought we put him there, so we can equally ask him to come down.
Sorry, he was appointed. He was appointed. You didn't put him there.
Let him go.
Yes, he was appointed to represent us, no matter how you want to put it. Okay. So for him to stay there as if he's a better. For me, I don't think he's normal.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much with your contribution. Let's take this other call. 95.1 FM.
Hello, Mr. Canada.
Mr. Sam, welcome.
Yeah, the Reverend Father in the morning.
You are blessed.
Yes. Good morning, Chief Ndukwe and the guests in the studio.
Good morning.
Yeah. Canada, you see, when people who supposed to be leaders don't know their left from their right, I tell you, they'll be doing things childishly. Now you sit down, you say they should bring down their headquarters here. What is it, most? What stopped you from saying, as the headquarters is up there, here is the field where they do the field work. You can say this will need such a number of people who will work here in the field with you people. We need such a number of people who will work there at the headquarters with you people at this particular level. That is how to come in agreement. They must.
Mr. Sam, yes, I think your idea is solid, but then again, you should also look at it from the angle Gift from Yenigua is looking at it from. If the headquarters is here, then that means certain taxes will go to the state government. Certain money will go to the
staff.
Yeah.
Coming to that, when you talk about that, these men are receiving 13%. Derivation. So now the small tax that other state that the headquarters is there should collect now, they should bring it here and give them, carry 13% and give them. So what are we talking about? Apart from that again, you see they are talking about insecurity here. Now these men, we have not asked them about the security vote. Just imagine the other day they placed coffin in Rumokoro there. People are clapping hands for the governor. I was just laughing. I was looking for opportunity to make comment. Is it that the coffin now you impose on those people there now, has it solved the problem of the insecurity? Is it that you are telling me that when Julius Berger finish flyover, they carry their load, go, you will remove coffin and business as usual? The boys continue to terrorize. Why can't the governor and this thing that they receive in the name of security cannot send security forces to go and remove those boys in whichever way they should do it by their legitimate assignment or responsibility? Here you impose coffin, and now those boys, when you remove coffin, they will go back and continue their business. That's what you're telling us. So these men, they don't know their left and their right. That is why they are just there making some demand. They don't even know how to go about it. So I don't know. But looking at this.
No, we've got to go. You've looked at so many things. Thank you very much, Mr. Sam. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's look at some other WhatsApp messages. This one says, "Good morning, Kaladan, everyone. Will you be shocked when after 10 years the Niger Delta is controlling resources and the problems have not even been squarely addressed?" I won't either. People who use the resource control formula are producing governments. I would be ashamed in that meeting If I had not been able to show some level of resourcefulness, I strongly believe that the ability to manage resources must first be seen in little before much is given. Though we have the right to demand, but I personally think we will destroy ourselves finally with these new aspirations. My name is AKP from Port Harcourt. All right, another interesting angle to the conversation. 95.1 FM, what's your name?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Comrade James Udunko. I'm calling from Okeka.
Welcome.
Let me show my dismay towards this meeting that was held in Port Harcourt. Okay. Because we had a lot of, apology must come. If we lost an apology, we're not going to convey. Like, he was firing, the Joe Congress was fired, everybody. But the same meeting now, without even social rights activists knowing about there was a meeting. In fact, I'm hearing for the first time that there is a meeting that was held. I am shocked with all this thunder that was stacking up and down. In fact, we needed water service, or we need water fighters or fire service to cool the tension that was coming up during that period. So I'm very shocked that the federal government did not come to that gathering. I smell fish because it was an attempt to silence those who would have speak. If you look at the IQ Briggs and the rest of them, the joint leader, they were not invited. That is to tell that someone have already arranged the formula, how the meeting will go, and those who that are needed, and those that they don't want to see their faces. So if the foreign minister did not come, I did not say anything. But let me quickly talk about issue of development.
Yeah, quickly.
Years, we have 15%, 13% diversion. What have we used that money to? In Okika, where I am, we are still finding it difficult to get good water. We have an LDDC for 20 good years. What have we done with it?
Okay.
The Ministry of Niger Delta. Money is coming today. Nobody asking question. There was Costa Rubebe who allegedly spent over 49 billion. Nobody asked question. What is the money they are going to the Ministry of Niger Delta? There is a question for the better question must be asking.
All right.
Not about calling for resource too. If by first Igbo Para will say someone that allowance his salary does not do it, his allowance do it.
Right,
so if you cannot manage those ones, you are looking for the resource control.
But you know, in Nigeria, the allowances is usually bigger. All right.
I don't think it's the same.
All right, thank you very much.
But not in Niger Delta.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
I mean, when we look at our legislators, the allowances, it's triple. It's triple
the thing is.
Okay, let's take this on the call. 95.1 FM. What's your name?
Hello, Kalada.
Yes. Good morning to you.
Good morning. This is Mr. Shadrach Ganaba calling from Bolino local government area.
Welcome, Mr. Shadrach. Welcome.
Yes, I have you people discussing. Good morning to all members in the panel there.
All right.
I heard what you are discussing, that the IOC's headquarters should return to Niger Delta. It's like a fisherman going to set his net at the Meru there, main river there, and left it and go back home without regarding the fishing equipment that he has set. Why is it that the IOC, the companies, the oil companies will go down, will come to Niger Delta, set their companies here, keep their companies here, to go and keep their headquarters somewhere? It's like they like the headquarters more than their companies, their apparatus, the equipment here. Supposing the equipment are vandalized here, all, then what is going to be the benefit of the headquarters? What are the headquarters? What is the headquarters for? Without the companies, without the apparatus here, without the equipment, what is the headquarters for? It's for nothing. So they better come back home here and do the needful. That is my take. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. They better come back home. 95.1 FM.
Kalada, good morning.
I want to Chime, welcome.
I want to say my greetings to everybody in the studio, the legal luminary. Thank you very much for your contribution. I've listened to you attentively. Kalada, every discussion yesterday was there putting more money into the account of the Niger Delta State, isn't it? So that they collect revenue and everything. Now the question is, he who much is given, much is expected from him. We are all in support for the fact that let the IOCs bring their head office, whatever, into Niger Delta. Yes, so that they can put more money into their pocket. But what are we talking about? A 13% derivation. Can it be justified? By now, we're supposed to have the state of Niger Delta, having industries fueled by these governors. Why are we not seeing it? Is that not in the 13% derivation? Is it a pocket money for governor? Why are they not using it wisely before they ask for more? How resource control? Every control this one. More money in the account. For the 13% derivation is for their own pocket, right?
All right.
Is that the question I'm asking them? I think it's unfortunate.
All right.
Talking about issue of Fashola in APC zoning. Now, Kalada, for me, I have never been in support of any zoning. Now, why most of us are clamoring for zoning is to give most of the ethnic groups, most of the communities, sense of belongingness. Because the way politics is being played is as if you don't have anybody in government, you get nothing. You understand? If not, ordinarily, I would have said that zoning only benefits the person the position was zoned to and his cronies and family.
All right.
You understand? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much there with that contribution. Let's take 95.1 FM.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you.
Yeah, it's a calling from Papa Canada, let me say something about Fashola and the APC.
All right.
This country, we are. Everybody knows that APC was formed by Tinubu and Muhammadu Buhari, the current president of Nigeria. And there is no any group or political party that can remove APC as we are speaking. Why I said so? PDP for over 16 years is the one that keeps Nigeria in such a condition that everybody is messing up upon.
Really?
Because I do not see why somebody will be calling himself governor and he will be rolling around with no less than 20 or 30 vehicles because of he's a governor of the state. Should be just doing Obasanjo when Obasanjo come into power. He made Nigeria governor or Nigerian government to be a beautiful one that everybody will be benefiting on top. APC to go by, I will be against of them. But for me, I do not am against of APC because what we are seeing today is a plan by PDP.
Right,
and the second thing for Niger Delta, my dear brother, look, the issue of Niger Delta, the resource control, whatever, it's like when somebody is setting shadows, because the last time I checked, the history of Azigboro and the Kesaruriwa and the rest have already been agitating for this issue. They haven't got it. End of the day, many times they come up and they went and collected, is it 60,000 or 30,000? At the end, they are still talking of which kind of resource control?
All right.
The men that started the struggle, all died in the struggle.
All right.
Who and who can also get it now? Well, they are looking for Gary Monisha.
All right, then. We will wrap up the show now. But first of all, I want to read some text messages. A lot of them, I'm going to try to do my best. This one says, I followed the regional meeting that took place in all the regions that was set up by the president. All their ministers were present as directed by the president. It is only here in South that transport minister failed to come. The bitter politics we play in River State has to stop. KC Pohakat. This one says, good morning, everyone in the studio. For me, I can excuse Amechi for his absence at the meeting. Did you forget that Abuja Kaduna train has issues? And that's coming from James. I think it's been sarcastic there. This one says, good morning, the guest in the studio. The minister was officially assigned by the president to attend to the accident that happened. Don't ask me which accident. Take him like that, Prince Lawson. So, this one says, so Dr. Chimo does not know what happened when Amechi followed acting president to government house, and that's coming from Kingsley. And this one says, good morning, Singto from Port Harcourt. Our political elites in the region of Niger Delta. All right, I can't say that. You said I can use that word. In Ernest, okay, I am Ernest from Uji. The last time Amechi was in government house when the vice president visited, it was booed. For the Niger Delta governors, Buhari should ignore them. The only resource control I would support is resource controlled by community, not by governor. And that's coming from Ernest from Uji. The text messages are long. What are your final words? Let's start with you. You don't want to start? Okay.
I'll be the last.
Let's start with you now. What is your final say, Dr. Desmond Ibete?
Well, just that we should try to be good Nigerians.
Okay.
And do what is in the interest of our country.
All right. Okay, let's hear from you, Dr. CJ.
Well, the minister will discuss it today, but I want to plead with the governor of Rivers State the idea of shutting down the whole place like Rumokoro Aromodomaya because of cultism is not right.
All right.
It's not right. So the government must be about respecting the rights and interests of the people. Do you imagine for 2 weeks, a people will be shut, locked down? Government didn't give them notice. Government didn't make a provision for them. Please let us have a new way to approach issues.
All right.
For the sake of our people.
All right, Dr. Emmanuel Wuna.
Yeah, zoning, of course, appears to be an imperfection of faulty democratic process. And unfortunately, our political elites are cashing it on that to actually protect their class interest. And it's important that the different federating units should be given a sense of belonging. On the issue of the demands of the Niger Delta region, I think in as much as tax will be paid by relocating the headquarters here, it is also important that we should also benefit from that relocation in terms of employment of the people from the Niger Delta. Let's have a sense of belonging, not just the physical breeding and the taxes that will go into the pockets of some of our leaders.
All right, then. All right, Mr. Melvin.
Well, the IOC should make the headquarters back to Niger Delta. In that place they are they in heaven? Is insecurity not there? Why will you destroy a place and then you go to another place to enjoy it?
All right, then. That's too much we can take. Remember, we had Dr. C.A.J. Chinwo, a legal practitioner and legal analyst living in Nigeria. We had Dr. Emmanuel Wuna, lecturer, Department of Political Science, University of Port Harcourt, and Dr. Desmond Inbete, lecturer, Department of Philosophy, University of Port Harcourt. And, of course, yours truly, I was going to say Dr. Emmanuel Ndukwe. Too many doctors in the studio today. But we had Mr. Emmanuel Ndukwe, as well as myself, Kalada, and it's time for us to hand over. And in a couple of minutes, the major news at noon will be coming your way. And after that, entertainment today. And of course, after entertainment today, today's hustle will come your way. A lot of interesting, intriguing, interactive programs lined up for your listening pleasure. And for those of you who sent your messages, I'm sorry I couldn't read them all out. I'll do better next time in terms of handling the time. You stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM.
Listening to today's quest here on Today 95.1.